Alright, guys, moving right along to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from a new patron, Luke Morehouse. And Luke asked me to do a Hazbin Hotel Danny Phantom crossover. But as always, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, let's get started. So, Danny Phantom Hazbin Hotel. Now, he did give me like a general plot idea, and I did take elements for this story, just to make it work a little more. So, this is set after Phantom Planet, and Danny is out on patrol one night, and he's battling ghosts, and one of them is Lydia, the tattoo ghost. And he's like, well, shit, I know what's about to happen next. And yeah, turns out Freak Show's there, and he used Lydia as a bait to draw Danny in. Turns out, Freak Show has a grimoire that he's managed to obtain through some dark means. Let's just say that. And now he has a way to permanently get rid what he believes to permanently get rid of Danny Phantom. And that way, in that way, Danny is. Gets a portal to hell opened under him, and he gets sucked in. So Danny is sent straight to hell with no way back, and no one knows where he is. So Danny has fallen straight into hell. He has gone right to hell, and he's like, "Oh God, where the hell am I?" And somebody goes, "Yeah, that's exactly where you are, pal. You're in hell." And he's like, "What? That's not possible. I've got to be somewhere in the ghost zone, right?" And he's like, "Ghost zone? Are you talking about purgatory?" Like, the demon's telling about, like, yeah, you I don't know where you are, but you sure as shit ain't in Kansas anymore, pal. You are in Pandemonium, the capital city of hell. And he's like, I need to process this, because Danny's never like believed in like a heaven or hell or whatever. So he like needs a moment to process this, and the demon goes, "What's your name anyway?" And he goes, "Danny Phantom." And they're like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna leave before something bad happens." And he's like, "What do you mean something bad happens?" He's like, You're known around here." And the demon goes, "You're known around here, and staying around you is a good idea to get killed." So Danny is kind of like, he depowers, and he's like, "Well, I'm just gonna make myself look more like a target if that's the case. But I look human enough, and all these people are just damn souls." So he's just wandering around the city. He like puts on he like finds like some raggedy clothes. And he just puts them on, tries to look inconspicuous from all the other demons, and eventually he does like go to a bar to kind of like listen in. Like, he's like, if crime noir stories have told me anything, it's that I can figure out general information if I go to like a bar or something. So he goes in there. He's kind of sitting there, and then he bumps into one of the demons, and the demon. This big old shark demon is like, "Hey, scrawny, you bumped into me." He's like, "I'm sorry, pal." And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna be sorry." He goes to attack him, and that's when someone comes in and stops the guy. That guy is Alistair, and Alistair is like, my good boy. Would you prefer if I sat down here with you?" He's like, "Sure." He's like, "I'm Alistair, and you must be Danny Phantom." He's like, No, I'm Danny Frankton." He's like, "No, you can drop the facade, boy." You see, word's been spreading around that Danny Phantom has gone to hell, and you're kind of a big prize around here. And he's like, "Are you here to collect that?" "No, my boy, I'm here to help you." So Alistair takes Danny to the hotel for like safe haven, where he introduces him to the rest of the crew. He introduces them to everyone else. He introduces him to Charlie and Vaggie, Angel, who immediately starts hitting on him. And he's like, dude, I'm like 15. He's like, "Oh, never mind. You are way too young, kid." Husk is like, "Well, it's more booze for me if he's underage." So Danny wants to know like, why am I so valuable? And he's like, and Charlie goes, "You are pretty valuable because like you're a pure soul. You were never meant to come down here at all. So someone sent you down here." And he goes, "Yeah, one of my enemies, Freak Show, sent me to hell. Is that bad?" And he's like, "Well, you're gonna cause some ruckus, is what I'm saying." And sure enough, a squadron of angels have come down, led by an angel named Raphael. So the angel Raphael, and it immediately is like, those aren't the and these aren't the normal eliminator angels. These are like actual archangels, and they're with Raphael, and they've come to the city and make a proclamation saying, we know that a pure soul has ended up in hell. Give us you have 24 hours to surrender this, Lucifer, or your next angel you'll be talking to is Michael, and you know how the last time that happened. So Lucifer's like, I don't know what the hell this place you're talking about, but this pure soul you have is not here. I know about it. And Raphael goes, perhaps you'd like to have a conversation with your daughter. And they leave. So Lucifer goes directly to the hotel and is like, what did you do? He's like, I didn't do anything. Danny here got sent here. And Lucifer is like, well, shit, the kid's here in hell. How did a pure soul end up in hell? And he's like, Danny explains this whole situation. He's like, so a human has a grimoire. I thought those things were all destroyed. Well, I have to prepare for war because now these angels know you're here. And he's like, well, isn't that good? They'll take me out of here. And Lucifer explains, that's not what they're going to... I don't know what they've told you in those priest child-touching buildings they call churches, but those angels don't have the best intentions for you. You're not going to go to the pearly. They're not going to send you back home so you can wait to ascend. They're actually going to recruit you into their army for the war, the ever so building war between heaven and hell, and you are a valuable member to both sides of it. And he's like, so you're going to try to recruit me? He's like, we'll see. But you were supposed to die for the whole point is heaven and hell. We're gonna fight over his, you're one of the Danny's soul is one of the most pure souls and most powerful beings out there. So Danny, when he was destined to die, when he eventually dies, his soul will be they'll fight over, heaven and hell are gonna fight over it because it's a powerful weapon they can use in the war between the two, between heaven and hell. But Danny ending up in hell kind of kicked things off, and Lucifer is very certain that they'll move up the timetable to attack hell again in a greater force, not just regular eliminators. It will be archangels, and even Michael will be down here. So Lucifer has to prepare for war, and Danny is going to be here. He's going to be in the hotel. So Charlie suggests that maybe it's time we figure out how to get you back. That's how we should do it. And Alistair is kind of he's been kind of sitting in the back because Danny is appreciative of what Alistair did for him, of giving him sanctuary in the hotel. What he doesn't know is that Alistair's kind of power playing here. Alistair is for lack of a better word, he knew what was going to happen when Danny was brought to the hotel. Ending up in hell was not the plan, but when he found out that was Danny, there were the pieces started to form, and the pieces started to fall into place for what was to happen next. So he's been kind of he's been power playing, because now this could if Michael comes down with a bunch of archangels and a fight breaks out in Pandemonium, there's a chance Lucifer could get killed and Alistair can move up the ladder, you see. So that's kind of the game he's playing right now. But for right now, he's playing it really close to the chest. But anyway, so of course by this point Danny's friends and family have discovered, he's missing. So we need to find him, and it isn't until later that Sam and Tucker do discover that it was Freak Show and using a grimoire, which Sam explains because she's all about the occult life, that grimoires are used as portals to other realms, preferably to hell. And he's like, oh, so it's like a Necronomicon. And she's like, it's not like the Necronomicon. He's like, I don't know, it sounds very Necronomicon-y. He's like, no, that's not the case. So that's how I think it's gonna. excuse me. So that's how Sam and Tucker are dealing with, because they have to get the grimoire. Meanwhile, the 24 hours are up, and archangels have arrived. Meanwhile, it's like Charlie believes that there's like someone who does own a grimoire, and they can send Danny back and keep this war from breaking out. That person, of course, is Stolas, who's more or less just still resting from the latest episode of Hell of a Boss from nearly being killed by Stryker. So they go to Stolas, they ask for the grimoire, and Danny's like, well, what about you guys? You guys seem pretty cool. I mean, hell's not so bad if you can look past that cocaine and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, but like, we're trying to work on making it better for everybody. And if you can see the good, and like Charlie says, like, if someone like you, a pure soul, can like see the good in all of us and all the things we've done for you, then maybe there's hope for all of us too. But right now, we need to send you back. Unfortunately, that's when some angels break in, as some archangels come in looking for Danny and looking to kill the princess. So, Charlie has to go like frantically open the grimoire, while Alistair and the other members of the hotel have to like hold down the fort and protect Danny and Charlie long enough to use the incantation to use it and open up the portal to back to Earth. Which Danny does. He does want to stay and help fight, because when he sees like how evil these angels are, he's like, I should stay and fight with you guys. And like, war ends when you go home. So like Charlie shoves him through the portal, closes it behind him, and by that point, Michael is like, we'll go. We're the only reason he's here, but you keep your eye. You better watch your ass, Lucifer. And he's like, always nice to see you again, brother. Tell Dad to go fuck himself. So there's the end of the story. Danny ends up back at Fenton Works, and he's like, holy fuck, that was a lot. But the story's not over, because what happens is Freak Show wants to use the grimoire again, and it turns out it was Alistair that gave him the grimoire in the first place. And he's like, I gave you my soul so you could give me the grimoire. And he's like, yes, and you sent Danny to hell, so our exchange is over. And he's like, yeah, but Danny came back. And he's like, well, that's not my problem. Sends and drags Freak Show to hell. Anyway, so there you go, guys. That is my Danny Phantom Hazbin Hotel story. Once again, I'd like to thank Luke Morehouse for this story. And once again, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.